This episode of the AI XR podcast is brought to you by our friends at Zapper. If you're in the XR space, you've probably felt the pain of juggling different tools, vendors, and platforms just to get an AR or VR project off the ground. It's exhausting, and it can really slow you down. That's where Zapper comes in. They built a complete suite of tools and creative services all under one roof to make creating immersive experiences not just possible, but practical. Their next-gen 3D web tool, Mattercraft, is a game changer for building immersive experiences for headsets, smartphones, and AR, VR, and WebXR. It combines the power and flexibility of the 3JS rendering engine with a rich visual editor, making it super intuitive and easy for designers and developers to use. Put simply, you get the creative freedom of a powerful 3D engine with none of the headaches. So if you're ready to take your immersive projects to the next level, head over to zapper.com and see what they can do for you. Good morning, everybody. I'm Charlie Fink with Ted Schilowitz and Rony Abovitz for the AI XR podcast. It's Friday, August 8th, 2025. Good morning, guys.
Morning. Pleasure to see you both.
So it's the, is it the 7th anniversary of the launch of the Magic Leap One?
It was 8/8/18, and today is 8/8/25.
And how are you feeling?
Auspicious day. It's, I think I'm batting, well, I'm on my third tech company, so Mako was a success. Magic Leap is still a TBD. It still exists. Things did not happen as fast as any of us thought, but they're still going. And I'm on a deep tech company, but I will say this, and Ted will probably agree. I don't think anyone has built anything as cool as the WETA Dr. G Invaders for the Magic Leap One. I think it still stands alone. And that's both exciting and depressing.
I agree.
I thought like video games and immersive content running all over the world was going to reflect that level of quality. And I just haven't seen it really anywhere yet at that level.
Oh, sorry. I say, Rony, I 100% agree. And I have to tell you, when Charlie asked me that question, that little pregnant pause before you actually said anything said a lot. Like I felt a lot of what your journey went through and still continues to go through.
Pain.
Not from the words you said, but from the moment. Yes, from the moment. You know, it was only 3 seconds, but those 3 seconds were really important to me. And I feel that energy, both positive and challenging, and it matters. For a lot of people that listen to this, that are in this life, that little moment of you thinking for a moment before you said anything and your reaction.
I think for any
really
leaper, they feel a ton of pride and they also feel a ton of pain. And there's folks who still work there, but it's a completely different company. We had ambitions to build this futuristic Disney, and now it's a supply parts company to, bigger companies. So they're very, very different outcome.
And by the way, I 100% agree with you on the Dr. G experience, which was made from our friends at WETA in New Zealand. It was so far ahead of its time. So few people by order of magnitude ever got a chance to experience it. If any of our listeners or anybody that touches this podcast wants to see me in my living room, this is probably 6 years ago now, going through that experience and sort of walking myself through it and being amazed at where the concept of immersive entertainment would go. There's a YouTube link. I have it. I can send it to anybody that
I think it still will go.
It's a
I think it's still
going to
go there. It's just
Absolutely.
At some point, everything else will catch up.
Yes.
I didn't realize how far in the future we really were.
I still think Dr. G should be released.
I don't disagree.
Platforms.
Yeah, they tried. For me, it's as big as Pong. It's as important as Pong, which is a little lead into who our guest is going to be today, because there's a little legacy of Pong and Atari.
Well, I didn't say that at the top of the show. Our guest is Brent Bushnell. Brent Bushnell founded a new AR location-based company called DreamPark. And it is a brilliant idea. I'll let him explain it. I'm so excited that he's on the show. Speaking of people that I met in early in my journey in 2017, Brent was one of them. He was working on 2-Bit Circus at the time, which was a downtown LA destination that was taken down, unfortunately.
By the way, just a
COVID.
Quick shout out to Brent. We did collab with him very early on at Magic Leap, and some former leapers and like the early Leap community are now part of his company. So it's kind of cool to see like children of Magic Leap running around doing stuff, you know.
Brent
And
embodies
his founder,
the kind
and
of
his father is
Pong.
Nolan Bushnell, creator of Atari, creator of Pong. This is the point.
and creator
You
of
cannot
Chuck E.
forget
Cheese.
the Chuck E. Cheese.
Yes, and creator of Chuck E. Cheese.
So Ted, before we get to Brent, and time is a little bit clipped today, everybody, just because we had a few delays getting Rony away from his startup. But Ted, you are in Georgia at the Carter Library.
I am. I am in wonderful Atlanta, Georgia. I've been floating around the southern states. I've been in North Carolina for a little while. I don't think our listeners know, but I'm on the board of trustees of the credit union called the First Entertainment Credit Union, which is the bank for the movie industry, for Hollywood. And we're doing something in Atlanta here that will be announced pretty soon for the very large burgeoning market for the Atlanta production community. And we had some time off this morning, and I got with one of our other board members. We got to spend some time at the Jimmy Carter Presidential Library, which is where I'm at right now. I'm outside, and the rest of the gang is inside touring it. I spent about 2 hours this morning. It harkens to, for anybody that ever gets a chance to do this, if you're concerned about where our world is going now and you need a little moment for inspiration and know that we can probably recover from the state that we're in now politically and from a global economic standpoint and where the world is, take a step back into nobility, humbleness, the idea of what a president actually can do when he comes from the regular people and is the regular people. It allows you to slow down. It settles you to a point where you can have a little perspective on the ridiculous craziness and pace that the world is going at now, and the way that it's truth and importance, and more than anything, it's humble. Like, they cared about people, and it represented really well, and it's a beautiful place to go. So so I'm outside in this wonderful pastoral environment.
Hey, Charlie, I just got to add on to
fantastic.
that for folks who weren't around and I was just a little kid. There's a great documentary on Jimmy Carter that one of the things people don't realize is like all the rock and rollers loved them. All the Southern rock bands, musicians in general. Yeah. He was hanging out with like Willie Nelson. He'd show up at rock concerts. They loved him. He was like the rock and roll guy. And you hadn't seen that, like Obama, you had a little bit of that, but like it was just embraced by musicians and artists all over. So, not a perfect guy. He had some flaws, but the fact that Willie Nelson loved him is a pretty good indicator.
I just, in terms of embodying
and others,
embodying the spirit of public service is something, that kind of nobility, people sacrificing for the greater good is not something we see. The other thing is, he continued that service throughout his life. Started Habitat for Humanity, traveled all over the world on humanitarian missions and monitoring elections. And so he did not, like, say, W, kind of disappear into his ranch and, do artistic things and hang out with his family. Nothing wrong with that, but it's a very different vision of one's retirement and the second part of one's life.
I'll tell you what, guys, it gives you hope for the future when you come to a place like this and you just get a moment to step back from the pace of what the bubble of technology and social media and all these things have created, and just give a little perspective. It's really lovely. And I would recommend it to anybody that needs a little break from the insanity that we're going through right now. It gives you a sense to get back to reality.
Speaking of reality, let me hit a couple of news stories real quick, and then we'll bring in Brent. First of all, publishers have been saying for some time now that AI, and particularly AI answers in search engines, particularly Google, has really, really damaged their traffic. And these are some very legitimate outlets like Forbes, CNN, Daily Mail. CNN just erected a paywall because they don't have enough traffic to support an advertising business anymore. At the same time, Liz Reed, Google's head of search, announced that they see no decline in search traffic or clicks on blue links. So we will see who is right, but I don't think the publishers are lying about that. And as I said, CNN just changed their whole business model, and that's not something companies do lightly. The other news, of course, was earnings. Meta is still in the money. They are still spending tons of money, losing $3 billion plus on XR. Good news on Ray-Ban AI glasses, not such good news on VR headsets. At SIGGRAPH, they're demonstrating 2 new headsets. They look to me to be like the Somnum One, which is a pretty wide field of view, high resolution headset that will make graphics and motion way smoother and higher definition. We'll see if that gives VR the boost that it needs. Of course, Scott Stein, who was on the show 3 weeks ago, just wrote a big piece in CNET about what's going to happen this fall, because Meta has kind of been able to put off Apple as a competitor, but now they're going up against Samsung and Google. And so we're really going to see, and Samsung and Google taking an AI first approach, I should add, which Meta has been slow to get to. One last thing on glasses is that Brilliant Labs, the company that used to launch Monocle, they're kind of a hacker thing and a programmer thing because it's still open source. You have to write your own software for it. But it does Bluetooth and they are cheap as heck. They're $300 and they do Bluetooth and everything else. And here's the thing. For $300, you actually get a display, which is something when Meta introduces it is going to be 3 times as expensive.
The display is
last
a
thing,
monochrome display,
and then
right?
we'll get to
I'm
Brett.
correct?
Yes, it's a monochrome, and I believe it's monocular. But it's good for text.
Yeah, but it's a step forward.
So it's not going to do anything but text. Yeah, but for AI,
You know what they're
text
doing
is
though?
enough.
They've gone to ultimate form factor, and whatever you can jam in, which is a very, very tiny kind of display. But they're like, to give them credit, I know one of the founders, they've been able to hack together some kind of open source AI-ish thing. And I mean, with very little money, right? So you think about like the work output per dollar they're doing, and then think about the $3 billion a quarter at Meta. What you want is like lots of brilliant lab type teams. That's not what's happening at Meta, right? So you got to give these guys credit for like squeezing every bit of brain power into what they're doing with very little funding.
All right, let's bring in Brent. We've kind of delayed this poor man long enough. Before we bring him in, we've got a message from our new sponsor, Vitcher. The guest segment of the AI XR podcast is sponsored by the new Luma series of Vitcher XR glasses. Vitcher is the quiet giant of video smart glasses, preferred by gamers and #1 in U.S. sales. The expanded 52-degree field of view shows me a virtual 152-inch screen. For the best in mobile gaming and entertainment, go to luma.vitcher.com or Amazon and get yourself a pair. And we're back. Brent Bushnell, welcome to the show. Great to see you.
Nice to see you. How are you, Charlie?
We are doing great.
What a crew.
We're running late. It's Rony's fault, but we're really excited to have you on the show this morning.
It's like to be here.
When you were
turn up your mic if you
when
can.
we started the show. When we started the show, Brent, we were talking about your legacy, and of course, you can't separate you from your father and your father's legacy. We were talking about Rony's moment of amazement with the Dr. G game on the Magic Leap, which I know you're one of the few people that have actually played it and experienced it. And I went back and said,
property.
It's just as important as Pong, if not more so.
Hey.
So, I mean, whatever you want to tell about your family, you were on stage with your whole family at
that was great.
AWE.
By the way, that was a great session.
Was it really? It really was fun being up there with the siblings and Dad. I really loved it.
Great dynamic
fantastic.
between you guys. I wanted to be invited over for dinner. It must be mind blowing.
Please,
Brent, I don't know if you
please come
remember,
over.
but
and I got to know.
sorry.
Well, I was going to say, Rony, please tell me there's going to be another life for Dr. G in on another
That's a
platform
very
and
popular
another
question.
Richard and I
world.
continue to fight for it. It's sitting in like what you guys would call in film development hell by people who don't care anything about it, but we should have a little petition to release it to the world. But I don't know if you remember, but you came to visit us at Magic Leap early on.
Are you kidding? Of course I remember that. It was like tattooed on my brain.
Okay.
Everybody remembers their pilgrimage to
but it was
Magic
reversed
Leap.
for me because like the first thing I ever played when I was a tiny little kid was Pong. And I was like, I think 2 years old and like wipe everyone out. I was like the best Pong player in my neighborhood. So it was kind of like when I heard like you were coming, I was completely geeking out. It was pretty awesome. So.
Well, I have photos of Eric and I, arriving there and it felt like, it was so special to see all the different things, all the labs, all the different projects you guys have.
By the way, I love
it was
what you're doing at
so
DreamPark. I know some of the guys on the team, but we had a vision of like with Dr. G and other stuff of like having gigantic, game-like experiences all over the world. Like every city would be a theme park. And I'm like, okay, Brent's actually doing that. Like you are driving forward why this stuff exists. And it's so awesome to see it.
You guys are, the three of you will so appreciate this. We signed the deal with the landlord on Friday and we were open on Saturday. We arrived with 2 pickup trucks of stuff, road cases of gear, and we were up and running. And that, after the literal metric tons of stuff we were moving around for 2-bit in downtown, to be able to activate 25,000 square feet in hours, just felt so good.
Well, and I don't know.
Very
if it's
rare in location-based entertainment. It's very rare in location-based entertainment to get anything like instant gratification.
Truly. I mean, even 6 months would feel fast,
Yes.
I don't know if it's still a secret in Rony's world. He'll have to tell us when to stop here. But I imagine, Brent, you experienced this too. On one of my trips down to Magic Leap with the studio, Rony took us into another warehouse. He had to walk across the concrete in Florida in the heat to this other warehouse. And they had some very famous IP using an augmented reality experience with physical props and physical actors. Rony, can we say the name of the IP even to this day, or is it still secretive?
I think you can.
He's checking. He's thinking about it.
I think you can say it. I think, Ted, you can say it.
I think we're okay to say it. It was Star Wars.
Wow.
It was Star Wars, and it was unbelievable back then. And we saw the future. And Brent, you're actually executing on that future now. So it was an amazing step.
Okay. So guys, the thing that I've been just dominating my brain is, have you seen Memories of Alhambra, the Netflix Korean drama? It's like 75% soap opera and 25% amazing sci-fi.
It's awesome.
So it's very glacially slow.
What is it called?
Memories of Alhambra. And the part that's so cool is is in this sci-fi, projection, you have the contact lenses on your eyes. We've reached that moment, but just barely. And there's really only one experience. And this kid has made this game on the streets of Alhambra, Spain. And when the game starts, you arrive and you go into the actual church where there's a ethereal woman playing a guitar, and you get the clue for the first thing you got to do. You go across town into the antique store, which doubles as the weapons dealer. That's where you're going to get your special sword. And then you finally go into the central town square where you battle the guy with the scimitar, right? And the thing that is just so rad about this is that is the natural built environment. Alhambra is beautiful, to overlay the game mechanics on it. Disney goes and spends $1 billion to build a new land. Let's just use the actual beautiful things we have and turn that into wonderful.
If you keep going, if you found like investors to fully back you, you can actually overtake Disney, because you could take the best locations on the planet and make them amazing. And like, my God, if it just Meta would aim some of their quarterly funding at like building exactly what you need for something like this, I mean, you're there.
We basically had to hack the headset to get Boundaryless working early. And I gotta say, man, I want to build the biggest theme park on earth.
Rony,
I think
we're having this dude from Meow Wolf on.
We should have Brent. No, we should have Vince
you should
and
make
Brent
a deal with
together.
Meow Wolf.
That would be like just a craziness,
yes,
right?
Yes. We're going to bring Brent on while we have Vince, so that he can pitch him DreamPark.
Let's do it. I'm so down.
You're completely right. I don't know if you ever met John Gaeta, who, okay, so, John was one of our kind of crazy, awesome dudes at Magic Leap for a while, but also won the Academy Award for The Matrix and all. But we talked about the world was the theme park. And I don't know if we ever showed this to you, but we digitally scanned the area around our building, and we digitally scanned the entire building, a couple 100,000 square feet. This might have been after you came. And we had like full-size Fortnite characters.
Amazing.
We had I'm just going to say this out loud. We had like an AT-AT Walker from Empire Strikes Back walking in the parking lot, full size. It was just like, I was like, okay, the future is going to be so cool.
Yeah, I saw it all. It was unbelievable.
And I can't believe that like our future is now still like a text box or something. Like what just happened, you know? So I'm just so happy to see like Brent, like, no, I'm going to push this. I'm going to drag this thing screaming and kicking up the hill anyway.
And you built it. The amazing thing is you built it on this really janky technology.
You know, the thing,
it's like a $300 headset that is going to be just handed person to person and be beaten until it dies.
This is the magic of what Meta did, though. I mean, they spent a gajillion dollars making that machine incredible. You know, when we built
$2 gajillion.
when we designed 2-bit in 2016, 2 gajillion. It was so much work to get 5 feet of immersion. You know, I mean, we needed tons of truss, a $2,000 computer, cables and confusion, $2,000 headset, controllers that are constantly losing sync, all this stuff, and you got 5 feet. Oh, and by the way, if you move the camera and the content, people get sick. and it was like, it took a decade for people to figure out that was a problem. And now finally, mixed reality, you move the camera because you move your actual body. And so that we've got this just such a cool
I could see like
moment.
What you're doing, if it keeps going, really could just be like the world is this permanent physical digital place, right? You're espousing that, like there's adventures and experiences, but like the promise was this digital physical place. And that's what you're beginning to like, and it's not just inside your house, like sitting on a couch. That's like boring, right?
Yeah. It's so much more fun when it's built
guys.
for the environment.
Time out.
Yeah.
Time out for a second because we're already at third base because all of us know each other really well.
I was about to say this. Ted's picking up on the.
It's too insider. People are like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, let's start at the beginning. Okay, we know who you are. You've founded all these location-based entertainment companies. You've got a new one. Explain what it is and how it works.
DreamPark is. Thank you, Charlie.
You froze, Ted, so I had to jump in.
DreamPark's the world's largest mixed reality theme park. We're using the MetaQuest 3 pass-through videos. You see the world around you. We build the map specifically for the locations. We have it. We've spent this year testing a whole variety of different locations. We've got it right now on the 3rd Street Promenade in Santa Monica, the actual walking mall. You check out the headset at 2-Bit's little arcade pop-up. You walk down the promenade. You're jumping over lava.
That's probably the best local marketing you could ever have. Right? Because people are walking down the sidewalk saying, what the hell are these people doing?
What is that? And the amazing thing is you in the headset, you can see them, so you can wave back, you know, and you know, to be able to have the potted trees and the curb there. I mean, my 83-year-old dad was able to walk along and navigate that and go around the little chess set that they have there because you can see the world around you. And so we've got coin collection, you know, breaking blocks, all sorts of different kinds of bad guys, a boss battle where the ship flies around and you've got a wand and you're having to shoot with the wand. So that's our super adventure land.
And you can get fit, right?
Property.
You're moving. You're
we've also got
move.
You're moving around. Yeah, this covers 30,000 square feet, which, by the way, is a public city street, right? We rented 4,000 square feet for our arcade, and we activated 30,000 square feet for the experience. In Seattle, we're in 25,000 square feet. It's an adaptive reuse building. Was an old canning factory right on the ship canal. Fun little fact. It had an ice box, a huge freezer for 30 years. They hadn't turned it off. They finally turn off the freezer. The ice melts and the roof collapses. The roof, the ice been holding up the roof. At any rate, so they turned it into this beautiful place. There's one tenant of 35. So we took over 5 of the buildings, or 5 of the spaces. We've got our ginormous super adventure land in one room. And then the other room is the drift trike racetrack. And so we're using a large, adult big wheel, and you sit on the big wheel, you're in the headset and you're pedaling around a virtual track, running into all sorts of things, collecting objects. So that's a ton of fun. And then we're working on a number of new properties, both ones that we're developing and ones that we're working with third parties to adapt their worlds into our world.
And as an adventurer and a customer, how much does it cost to do this? Like, if you go to Santa Monica and now Seattle, what does it cost as an average patron to experience this magic?
So in Seattle, one adventure is $20. Two adventures is 30. Santa Monica, we're still upgrading, is a $10 experience. It's our earlier version.
Oh, so it's a bargain still in Santa Monica.
Yeah, Santa Monica is a bargain, and sort of it's shorter. It's sort of an adjunct to what's offered at 2-bit.
How long do you think you're going to stay?
People in Seattle are staying 45 minutes to an hour. We had one.
No. My question is, how long will you be there in Santa Monica?
It's a good question. With 2-bit set up its pop-up just for December of last year, and it's August now, and it's still there. So we're sort of
still going.
We're just rolling it along. Yeah.
It's a great use of retail space that is just sitting fallow.
I mean, Charlie, this is the thing that is just blowing my mind is, so I was talking about the different places we put it. We've had it in that adaptive reuse, big empty retail building. We're just about to go into a bunch of mall common areas. We're actually opening tomorrow a beta test in Long Island, New York. And it's all the common areas of this ginormous mall. We were at the Electric Daisy Carnival. We did a huge music festival. We did the LA County Fair. Each of these formats all work for a different reason. We did a 10,000 person party for Databricks, in the Yerba Buena Gardens. We did a really, sort of high end party for Google and Y Combinator. These are all sort of different formats that worked in their own ways. And when you got a tech that's that dynamic, we have one person show up with a road case of 10 headsets and you've got real throughput.
Yeah, that's amazing. I did it at AWE. I did both the trike and the whatever you call that, Nintendo
Super Adventureland. Yeah,
Super Adventureland. And I had so much fun. I think it's actually probably the most memorable thing I did at AWE.
Wow, cool. That's saying a lot coming from you, Charlie.
I think I'm on a little bit of a,
aside from our podcast, of course.
I think I'm on a little bit of a delay. Apparently the Jimmy Carter Library doesn't have the best internet in the world, so I'm a little lagging behind. But here's what I want to ask Charlie. They do have good peanuts. Here's what I want to ask Charlie and Rony. As you look at Brent and see his energy level, and I've known Brent for a long time, his energy level has never wavered from this. Do you think you're looking at the next Walt Disney? Is this the guy that has that sustained energy level, that understands what entertainment can be and will figure out that thing that will go to massive scale over the next 20 years not because of the technology, but because of his desire to bring this kind of wonder out to the world, which is kind of the ethic of Disney and the struggles he went through to get there, right? People forget.
Brent is an expert in the friction of location-based entertainment. And he came up, this is my perspective, and he came up with an idea that addresses those issues. Location-based entertainment has consistently failed because of throughput and utilization, right? You can't put enough bodies through at peak, and at off-peak, you're sitting there with a lot of equipment that is going to be obsolete quickly. So how do you address those two issues and build a successful business on that? And I think Brent found this mixed reality application, and he found the right people to implement it. And now that it's working, the challenge is going to be, and it's the ultimate entrepreneurial challenge, you've got a great product, but you have to scale it. Yeah. And it all is only going to scale not with AI, but with humans who have something in common with Brent, which is the desire to put on a show. So that's my 2 cents about it. And that's why I love Brent and I love this idea. Will Brent be Walt Disney? Well, he could be the Walt Disney of location-based entertainment. He could be the guy who actually, Sandbox, to their credit, has over 100 locations, as does Zero Latency. Those companies obviously have figured out how to overcome the latency and throughput issue, but I don't think they can scale the way DreamPark can scale. As Brent said, a guy can show up with an anvil case and in a day open his virtual theme park. So once they start to franchise this, once individuals realize, what the hell, I can make $10,000 a week doing this, I don't think he's going to be able to sell enough anvil cases.
it really feels like a mobile phone level transition. I gotta say, and it'll be great for entertainment. And, entertainment's a great first step because it's low risk and, if it's bad, people just didn't have fun. But you can imagine therapy, fitness, learning, all these things just getting kind of recast in this model. I mean, what would be, the preference in learning, that you would be in front of a person with a chalkboard broadcasting to 30, or an immersive adventure where you had to, interface with the different stages, in order to accomplish the crazy mission. And over the course of it, you were going to learn a little bit about welding and a little bit about, fiber optics and a little bit about,
Brent, it's going to sound very odd, but I think a group that would give you a lot of funding and backing would be the DoD. And I'll tell you why. There's a whole generation of kids who are just like sitting in front of their phone, or just sitting on a couch, like, playing an Xbox or PlayStation, whose bone density is crap, whose diet may not be that great. So you think about you just have this generation that can never be called up. Like in World War II, you had this generation that got called up, but they were running around playing baseball and football. And while there's some of that, there's a lot of kids just doing nothing. If you can move video games from the couch to the world, you're merging the interest and the activity, and you're going to create fit, healthy people.
Well, now you're making John Hankey's speech. the guy who started Niantic.
Brent's actually delivering the thing. You know what I mean? It's not like you're looking at Pokemon through a phone. I think there's something about actually you're hands free, you're running around. I think your experience is very different from people hunting a Pokemon holding a phone, which is slow and deliberate. Like when you watch people in DreamPark, they're running around doing stuff. Right. And someone's got to evolve their headset this in motion fitness based thing. That's where you're going.
I hope we end up being a super Pokemon, what's bigger than a Pokemon gym? I want to be the Pokemon, super center, where you come to really, to catch Pokemon with your hands.
So speaking of that right hardware, that next hardware that will be the enabler to get you to that point, I'll bring up, my favorite company to talk about, our friends in Cupertino, and their missteps with their first XR hardware, which of course are well documented and you know them well. Where's your level of bullishness or not bullishness about what Apple may do in their next iterations of this? We know they're not giving up. Do you have confidence that they can make that tool that bridges that moment where it is just as ubiquitous as a smartphone, and you and the John Hankeys of the world and others that are really tying the real world with a digital layer can fully migrate to that? Where's your temperature on that?
I mean, dude, I'm such an Apple guy. I mean, if you could just see my, even to the environment right in front of me, I'm such a believer in their ability to make cool, beautiful products, and when you're talking about something that's going to be on your head, on your face, this is a really hard problem. People
Didn't they work for your dad, the two Steves at some point? I mean,
it's a pretty good family joke about dad avoiding or sort of saying no when they were like, hey, you want a $50,000 a third of Apple computer for $50,000, and he was like, nah.
It's good that you've grown to the point where you can laugh about that.
$1 trillion loss.
By the way, Brent, something I'm just going to put out there for you because I love what you're doing and you got the good vibes. It's going to sound odd, but there are two phenomena in the Southeast that you should chase, or maybe around the country. One of them is called Buc-ee's, which makes no sense, but it's if Disney World became a Southern rock band and ate a gas station. If you go to a Buc-ee's all over the South, there's it's Disney level attendance 24/7. And you and that would just make it crazy. So you need to go to a Buc-ee's with one of your things and just do it. The other one,
sure.
and I won't go into a lot of detail why I'm putting it out there, but you should talk to Walmart. There are thousands of them, and there are tons of people that go there much more frequently than go to Disney. So if you want a really big audience really fast, there's space, there's parking lots. But if you were at Buc-ee's and if you were at Walmart's, you would be blanking a huge piece of the country where there, especially if I drove up and down through the Midwest a couple weeks ago, The guys know this. We did the thing from Indiana, but I was going through like Kentucky and Tennessee, and we hit Buc-ee's all over the place. Buc-ee's is the Disney World when you're in like Tennessee or Kentucky or North Florida or Georgia or Alabama. And it's crazy. There's like a huge character who looks like a giant, like, I don't know what he is, like a chipmunk thing. And I'm like, this is like an alternate reality Disney. They don't have anything like what you're talking about. You would show up and you literally would be the Walt Disney of that entire part of the country. So it's waiting for you. It's waiting.
Wow.
For
See,
you.
little did you know when you called into the podcast, all we were going to do is flatter you
love Brent.
and make
That's
business
awesome.
development suggestions.
I mean,
Give me a
this is
business advice.
Brent's one of
amazing.
the good guys. Like Brent's awesome.
So good. Thanks.
So,
You guys are
Brent,
awesome.
how
So
hard is it
I'm in.
to? I was going to
Oh,
ask,
sorry,
how
go, Charlie.
hard is
Go,
it
you
to
go ahead.
create an experience? How hard is it to create a mix? Because okay, it's easy to set up, it's
Yep.
easy to run.
Yep.
You don't need to be a very experienced retailer. A couple of guys could decide to barnstorm around doing this, or just do it in their neighborhood on the weekends.
Charlie, it's getting easier. And the thing that's so cool is if the four of us were going to create a VR experience, we'd need to make all the objects in the game and the whole skybox in the world around. And you can imagine that in this case, we don't have, in the mixed reality case, you don't have that whole second part. You don't have to make the skybox. It's already there, and the built environment's already there. And so if you're built, you then are now focusing on the objects. And I think especially for folks who already have their 3D objects rendered, they're textured, they're rigged, they're animated, that's a whole lot of work that if you've already done it for another domain, for your other video game or something like that, to be able to migrate that in, is just getting easier and easier.
You should do a New
I
York
was just
City
gonna say
experience
that
where
the,
people walk around the block.
I'm sorry, guys, but
They don't have to cross the
I was
street.
going to
They
say this
just
one more
walk
time.
around the
Charlie,
block.
Ted, and I need to conjure Buc-ee's and you into being. It will revolutionize what you're trying to do. First of all, because you go to New York, people are cynical.
I'm so excited.
Well, I was just.
They have MoMA, they got all this stuff. You go to Buc-ee's, you will literally be the wizard who came from the sky, who brought magic. You know what I mean? And it's like I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah.
By the way,
Right. So Rony is putting you in Walmart.
Buc-ee's is different.
I love it.
Buc-ee's is
I'm
different.
very interested.
Because Buc-ee's is his own thing. And I don't own anything in them. I've just like been there. Like when you're driving on the highway late at night and you see that giant Buc-ee and you walk in, you think it's a gas station. It's like a 24/7 party. People drive hundreds of miles to go to Buc-ee's. It's like, it's a weird phenomena that you have to go to understand. I would say a lot of the coasts don't get it because it's not an East Coast or West Coast thing. It's middle of America. And I think Disney played to middle America. So if you want to be Walt Disney, you're not playing to like West Coast.
I am.
Where Ted is, right?
I am in the heart of it. I am in the heart of it right now. I am in Atlanta, Georgia, and I was in North Carolina, and I was in South Carolina last.
Did you go to a
days.
Buc-ee's though?
And Rony is 100% right. It is a cultural. Yes, of course, it's a cultural phenomenon. My dad turned me on to Buc-ee's, and he's like, "Ted, you have to go to this place. You have to see it. It's like Costco meets Walmart meets Disney, and they've mashed it up, and it's like the world's largest.
Wait
gas
till it meets
station,
DreamPark,
but
though.
so much more.
Yeah,
man.
I'm looking at their Wikipedia right now. So it's for people who are listening who want to look this up. It's BUC-EE apostrophe S.
But here's the thing about what Brent's doing. Brent, you are bringing max entertainment and joy in a portable, turn any city, any place into something, right? That's actually a dream of what XR is supposed to be. And you're one of the few people that I've met that actually gets it. I can't believe Apple spent close to $40 billion. This is our dear Tim we did at South by for something you sit at home watching a TV on your couch where you already have an 80-inch TV. That was insane to me. The whole point of all is to do stuff like you're doing. Imagine if you were in charge of their $40 billion, what you would have made.
Oh man, well, it would 100% need my co-founder.
By the way, Aiden is awesome.
Also, and Kevin Habik. They are just such
Aiden
incredible.
Aiden is a magic
he was in the
alumni, right?
God, what do they call it? The Leap Squad? So, Brent, you should ask Aiden about it, but there was a phenomena called Leap Squad where these super early enthusiasts that I think were Aiden and some others who are now all like celebrities in their own right they had these like red hats and I just loved them. And Aiden was like one of the guys that just instantly got it. So I'm so happy to see him working with you. It's like you found your like, if you're the Walt Disney, he's like the Pete Doctor. You know what I mean? Like what Pete is at Pixar or something.
Amazing. Well, it was so fun when he and I connected and AR House. I don't know if you
That's
guys
one of the
ever got
greatest
to go,
things ever.
yeah,
right?
Sure.
Yeah,
one of the greatest things ever.
It's Lucas Risotto's.
By the way, you should bring
so
Lucas.
Beautiful. And
Lucas
No, but
deserted
Brent,
us.
I don't know if
He
you know
moved to New
Lucas.
York.
You kind of need to bring him in. Like he's like John. There's like John and Paul, and like the John Lennon and the Paul. I don't know which one of those is, but those two are kind of like the Beatles of early XR.
He may match your genius, Brent.
He's
I'm
amazing.
not sure, but
just go grab. You need your 9 old men.
Yeah.
We've never had him on
Yeah.
the podcast, and he made probably one of the greatest VR experiences yet, called Where Thoughts Go.
You know what's funny? Like the enthusiasm keeps it alive. And I think for all the naysayers, you miss the point that once it gets lit up in you and you see it, like Brent did and Aiden, you know it's going to happen, and you're just going to keep fighting until it happens.
Yeah. God, Rony, it's so good. It's so cool to hear you say that because it's so true. I mean, it's like, they talk about the down cycles or whatever. And time and again, the people you meet in the down cycles who are still just going.
I just want to heap on one
really
more praise.
It's so fun.
I think you and Aiden are doing it because you love what you're doing and it's joyful. Other big companies, it's like, how do I exploit this technology to extract information and monetize like the insights of human beings? You're bringing them joy. That's not what they're doing. By bringing them joy, you're actually going to unlock the path for this being real.
Oh.
So I was thinking, Brent,
I'll give you
of your. Sorry, go ahead, Ted.
I'll give you one more inside baseball thing to think about, Brett, as we're really going inside baseball here. There's a gigantic dead mall on the way to Vegas. It's only about 40 miles out of Vegas in a town called Prim. I am the unofficial mayor of Prim. And Prim has this ridiculous, gigantic mall that used to be an outlet mall. There's one store left. It is the biggest empty footprint I've ever seen. They upkeep it because there's still a casino attached to it. That could be the ultimate AR theme park playground. I've been talking about it for years. You and I could talk more offline about it, but look up Prim, Nevada.
I'm totally interested. We were talking about ghost towns. What ghost towns could we take over and augment, and
here's another one for you. Yeah. Music festivals. Go to Coachella.
Yeah. I mean, that's fun. We had a good time at EDC. People loved it. It worked.
By the way, we have completely gone off script. Usually we're tough on people. This is like turned into a Brent love fest, basically.
Wait, who have we ever been tough on? This is like the softball podcast.
Well, guys, you've all volunteered yourself for the beta testing. We desperately need your help.
By the way, if anyone who is a venture fund listening, please give Brent a lot of money. He will do good with it.
Yeah, it's funny. I was going to say Brent was on Shark Tank,
man.
And I would say yes, and it did not go well. And the Sharks, first of all, the Sharks don't like retail in general.
Or startups.
Any kind of retail. It's very rare to see them go for a retail concept. And this one, they did not understand what it was. They kept going back to retail. And I kept thinking, he solved the retail problem. You don't get it. It's not, yes, he's selling things, but there's no
Shark
store.
Tank.
But they just did not get. So I thought afterwards, and I meant to tell you this, he should have just come in there and made them do it. He just should have created something for that room. Not tried to explain it, but just had them do it.
We had Mark and the Kind Bar founder both did it. They played a little wizard battle against each other. But they don't like startups either. But I will say, I think that was the biggest public demonstration of mixed reality.
The publicity was worth it, and the fact that, by the way, you are blessed not having taken Shark Tank money. Absolutely. Like it would actually be the death knell of your company. I think legit VCs would not touch you.
I got to tell you though, I was watching it I was watching it. He was pitching it, and I kept thinking, "Oh, this is a really good pitch," but they don't like retail.
They don't like
And that's
retail.
exactly what happened. But I thought it was a great pitch.
Thanks,
In
man.
fact,
Yeah.
if you could just do the pitch and cut out in the video any of the shit they said.
Oh, dude. Well, the funny part is they cut out, there's a lot of stuff left on the editing room floor, but the one that I'm really happy was when me and Barbara started talking about extra, all peripheral products, and I just got nerdy too fast. I was very nervous they were going to.
Oh, I'll bet you were. How could you not be?
Could you imagine the Google guys coming out of Stanford pitching Shark Tank? They wouldn't get funded either. Nobody who did anything really big would get funded by that. It's kind of like you do something that's home shopping network oriented or whatever. I don't know. You're okay not to have been. It's a badge of honor.
Well, there's a famous quote that I love, which is never worry about people stealing your ideas. If your ideas are any good, you're going to have to shove them.
I'll
down
take issue with
throat.
that.
God.
I'll take issue because I've had a lot of people steal ideas. So, but Brent, I would say, you're in a very interesting lead position right now, but now is a time to kind of run with it. Cause you can actually, what you could become is what the Uber of this, you know what I mean? Like DreamPark is this, so you just gotta own the Kleenex, you own the Uber. That's what you want to get.
Oh, you know who we had on the show that I'm sure you must have pitched already, but if you didn't, I'm happy to introduce you to Adam Draper.
Oh,
at Boost DC.
This is so inside right now, Charlie and David. I think we've gone off the rails. But Adam should fund him.
But
yes,
Brent, hit me up if
Adam,
you want us to introduce you to him. We had a terrific show with him.
Yeah, I know, and I know he
why should he fund
close.
you? He
That's
funded Colossal, which is reviving woolly mammoths and insanity like that. So, if you go to the Jurassic Park they're building, you need this stuff happening. Because remember Jurassic World, there's the 3D Brontosaurus walking around when you come in. You're the guy that makes that happen in their mammoth park. So Adam, please.
Oh my God, that would be
so Adam, we're going to kind of we're just going to write the term sheet for you to give to Brent. That's a bit forward, isn't it, on a Friday?
I know, and the crazy thing is, Brent doesn't need that much money.
Adam has a whole network of cool people, and that would be good to have. Plus, do this for Colossal.
Absolutely.
I'm going to take a step a little more serious. Imagine the park they want with the mammoths, and you do it now before the mammoths are there.
Yes.
Yes, a mammoth park needs to exist.
That way people get excited, and one day the mammoth will be revived or not, but the Brent Bushnell mammoth is alive
I'll
now.
tell you, you know who else, Ted? The guy from the theme park in France or Germany.
No. Europa Park.
No, you're talking
Europa
about,
Park.
This is Rony's contact.
Yeah, Michael.
Europa Park.
Yes.
Oh.
If you have not met that guy from Europa Park, that's another guy we should
way off the rails.
Yeah, he's kind of fantastic.
We are off the rails. There's 2 minutes left.
For anyone who doesn't know Europa Park, it's like the
Disney. I will be there in.
His family
ginormous.
Claims they inspired
Mac
Disney,
rides.
not the other way around. I've been there. It's amazing.
Hey, they've been doing it.
It is true.
He loves
you
he
and
loves
him would
tech
really
stuff
get
like
along,
this,
actually.
What's
That's
his
a
name?
great idea.
Michael of Europa Park.
Michael of Europa Park.
We know him.
I will be there in
We will
December. I'm
make that
gonna reach out.
We know him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh
Ted's
my
friends
God.
with him.
Has this been an informative show?
Awesome.
Yeah, we can connect you to him. And by the way, here's one more.
Yes.
Here's one more little nugget for you guys. Now,
Michael Mack.
Last I checked, Brett, there's a big footprint of retail stores.
Michael Mack, thank you.
There's a big a big footprint of retail stores called Chuck E. Cheese, and doing an evening at Chuck E. Cheese AR experience all across the country.
I think that's a great idea.
You've got it in there.
Every
You've got
Chuck
a lot
E.
of places
Cheese
where you can do that
becomes a
between
venue.
Buc-ee's and Chuck E. Cheese.
So wait, Charlie. If you were listening to
we're
us,
out of time.
did this show move the needle for you?
It's 40 minutes of free consulting for Brent Bushnell.
That was really good. Thank you, guys.
So we are your future business partners. We look forward to being your advisors and getting our stock option deal.
Yes.
That's our show, everybody.
You guys
Thanks
are the
for
best.
listening. Brent, thanks for being a great guest. I hope we can have you back sometime and hear about the progress I am sure you're going to experience.
And Charlie, connect us
with DreamPark.
so I could hook up
we'll
Brent
see you
with
back.
some of these things.
I will.
Amazing.
Okay. That's our
You
show,
guys are the
everybody.
best.
We'll see you
Thank
back
you,
here next
guys.
Friday.
Rock and roll.
Rock and
Thank
roll.
you guys.